Hi, I'm here at SensAbility, the social enterprise conference, together with Saskia Bruysten, the CEO and co-founder of Yunus social business. And my first question to you is, how do you like the conference so far?
I think it's been a lot of fun up until now. I've only arrived this morning, but I was impressed by all the super excited young people and to see that a business school like WHU is actually really focusing also on this aspect of business, the social business side of things. So no, I think it's been really interesting and it's been a good exchange up until now.
Okay, thank you. As the CEO of Yunus social business, what is your social mission with your company?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, basically, I co-founded Yunus Social Business about 2 years ago, together with Mohammed Yunus, the Peace Nobel laureate. He's known for the whole idea of microfinance, but now also most importantly, social business. And basically, our goal was to say, in Bangladesh, he's created a ton of social businesses, around 30, 40, 50, that run at large scale and that solve a lot of problems, including access to energy, access to healthcare, et cetera, all kinds of different things. And we said there are so many successful examples over there. How can we bring those into other countries? And so our goal is really to spread social businesses in other countries and implement it there. And we basically, the way we work is we're a philanthropic fund that on the one hand fosters and creates those ideas and works with entrepreneurs, and on the other hand invests in those entrepreneurs. So this is how we actually functionally work, and that's also the mission that we've set ourselves, to spread the idea across many different countries and make sure we create a lot of successful examples.
Very interesting. Before you started in the social business area, you worked for one of the very big and famous consulting companies. What is the difference between the job for a consulting company and your job today?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I worked for the Boston Consulting Group. I had a great time there. I learned a lot. For me, it was essential to have that real business experience and to work with the large corporates and to really learn how to be extremely professional, etc. So I think I learned a lot. I had great colleagues there, and it was a wonderful time. And it was an important time for me to basically get set up for the work that I'm doing nowadays. Nowadays, of course, I'm working in a field that is absolutely my passion. I love it. It's a lot of fun. On the one hand, I really feel that we can create a major impact, and slowly but surely this is being shown and demonstrated by the social business we've invested in several countries. But to be honest, also in terms of the people, we have highly intelligent people in our team. So I would say very comparable with the people that I was working with at BCG. Many of them are former consultants or venture capitalists, etc. So we've been able to assemble quite an interesting group of people. So in terms of differences, great people in both organizations, I would say. Obviously, a very much clearer social mission that we're working for, and a real feeling of making a difference. And I think the third element is also, whereas on the one hand, at BCG, I was working for clients and consulting and just giving them advice. Now I can really do things, and we can do things, and we can work in an entrepreneurial environment and really take decisions and create that change ourselves. So I think those are probably the differences. But I was just talking to some students who asked me, and I would definitely say I think it was a good experience for me, and I think it is a good experience for probably many of the students that are here, to do a few years in the normal business sector and then move into social business, if that's what they want to do, because I feel that kind of education in that sector is good. You get trained well to be professional.
Okay. How does your job as an incubator look like, your daily business?
Yeah. So basically, we have currently incubators and local funds in 7 countries. And one thing that's very important is that we have local teams in those countries. So when we're in Haiti or when we're in Uganda, we have Haitians and we have Ugandans. So people that really know their country and that know the problems in their country. And so those local employees of Yunus Social Business, what they do in the incubator is that they run around the country And they identify local ideas and local entrepreneurs, and then they work with them to develop their business plan or work with them to develop their expansion plan, and then also help them to get access to a local network or also the international network. So that's how we've been working up until now. Now we are actually launching something new, both in Tunisia and in Albania, 2 of our countries, where we have created a very structured accelerator program. In Tunisia, we do that together with Yale University. And what that means is we get applications from entrepreneurs, and then we do a 2-month process with them where every day they get lessons they work on different elements. So they work on their social business idea. They learn about what is business in general and social business in general, and they get lessons on that. They improve their leadership skills. So they get speeches from interesting leaders in the tech industry, in the whatever industries are out there, get inspired. And then they also kind of become a strong network as a group of entrepreneurs so they can support each other. And so this 2-month program at the end is supposed to result in several investable social businesses. And that's what our incubator or accelerator actually does in 2 of the other countries. So a very structured program, really.
Okay. What are the most important criteria for investing in a social business?
Yeah. We basically have 5 criteria. Number 1 is potential for social impact. So that's clearly the first thing. Does this idea have potential to really create a major change or really impact something that otherwise wasn't impacted up until then? So that's the first thing. The second one is the entrepreneur. Do we believe in the entrepreneur? You can have a great idea, and if you have a terrible entrepreneur, it's still going to fail. And the reverse, you can have a great entrepreneur and you can have a terrible idea and he can still somehow make it happen. So the entrepreneur, the fact that we believe in him, the fact that we believe in his ability and also in his motivation is the second criterion. Then number 3 is, do we believe in the business model? So will it be financially self-sustainable, A, and B, will it be able to pay back its investment capital? And then 4, it is ease of implementation. So has it already been tested? Do we think it's an easy thing, or does he need to now spend like 5 years in investing in the technology behind it? Like, is it something that we believe can actually go to market quite soon? And then finally, is it something that is scalable? Because only if it's really scalable, it is something that makes sense to invest in, because then we can create change or create impact or whatever you want to call it. Okay. I don't like these words, but they're easily used in this sector at a broader scale.
Okay, can you tell us what is the average volume you invest?
Our investment sizes are ranging somewhere between roughly $50,000 and $500,000. So this is kind of the range.
Okay. Yunus Social Business has departments in Haiti, in Albania, and in Togo. Can you tell us why did you choose those places?
Yeah, actually Togo, we don't have it there. We just did a conference there. We have offices. You don't know the film that I showed still has that in there, because at that point we thought. No, we have offices in Haiti, Albania, Colombia, Brazil, Tunisia, Uganda, and India. Those are the 7 countries that we have offices in, and we will most likely be opening an 8th one at the end of this year. We chose those countries for very entrepreneurial reasons, I would say. Basically, in each of those countries, there was a local host. Either, for example, in the case of Haiti, it was SAP. They wanted us to go there after the earthquake, the business software company. So with them, we started Haiti. In the case of Colombia, it was a local government. In Albania, it was a national government. In Africa, it was the African Development Bank. So in each of those cases, we had somebody that wanted us to go there and that basically wrote to us and said, we want you guys to come. And that's how it's happened, really. So it's been more entrepreneurial.
Okay. How do you evaluate the current situation for social business in Germany, and maybe how do you see it in the future?
Difficult to tell. So we as Yunus Social Business don't actually work in Germany. We really only work in those countries that I just mentioned. But in general, I think that social business is a concept that can be applied in any context. It can be, because also basically I think it can be applied everywhere where business can be applied and where there are problems. And I don't think that there's any society that doesn't have problems. Also, Germany has problems. even though we're very well situated in the current economic environment, we still have unemployment. We still have a lot of people that are in Hartz IV and can't get out of it, for example. But there are also many other problems, like how do we actually deal with old aged people, et cetera, et cetera. So there are many problems that we still have in Germany. So I do think that there is a lot of potential to do things in Germany as well. But I see that the sector is slowly but surely growing. But I still think that there's a lot of work to do. We just had a question from the audience also about how social business in Germany works with the existing social sector. And I think that there's still a lot of room for improvement of getting those two sectors to work closely together, to make sure that there's a real cooperation rather than a competition, as I think I see it right now.
Okay. So the last question, is there a recommendation you can give to business school students today, for example, regarding job choice?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I think it's great that there are so many young people nowadays that actually are looking for alternatives to the normal, let's say, corporate way. Because when I was at business school, as I said already at your competition, everyone was telling me, oh, there are two options: banking or consulting. That's pretty much what I was taught back then. And so I think it's great to see that there are students out there that have gone to this university and also to others that say, hey, I want to actually do something different. So I would really, really encourage everyone to keep that open mindset, because once you're in that normal business, let's say, approach and path, then it might sometimes be difficult to keep the open mind and later on switch. But as I was saying earlier, I do think it makes sense for you guys to get some normal business expertise, possibly, and then switch into this sector. And I think that, I can only recommend to you all to become entrepreneurs over time, because Germany as a whole and also the world needs more great entrepreneurs, be it normal or also social business entrepreneurs. And of course, I'm going to always vouch for the latter. I hope there are going to be a lot of great minds and ideas coming from people like you that still have fresh mindsets and that really want to do something for the world with the energy that they have.
Okay, thank you very much for this interview, and
Thank you.
have a nice time at the conference.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks.